Hello and welcome to our channel. On the face value of it, mixed methods research looks very attractive. It combines the quantitative and qualitative approaches to come up with very powerful evidence. But there are certain criticisms about methods, and that's the purpose of this video. Number one, people say that when you're combining paradigms, which is one of the basic approaches of mixed methods research, to come up with a more pragmatic way of looking at things, or to come up with evidence that is actionable, it is many times criticized for its interpretativeness. So that means by making it an interpretative process, an iterative process, there are elements of bias and assumptions and subjectivity that creep into the study. And that's where some people, especially the ones who believe very strongly with positivism, they take a dig at mixed methods research and say that the findings are not very valid or generalizable. Of course, there's the flip side of it where we can argue and say that we get with more nuanced findings, and that's how mixed methods is more important. The other criticism that we have is how do you actually balance the quant and qual part together at the same level? It rarely happens. What happens is one becomes a priority or dominates over the other. And that's where we tend to declare that this is a qual dominant study or a quant dominant study. Balancing both is tough. The third criticism that one has is of questioning the strength of this kind of a combination. So on one side, one could argue that by combining quant and qual, we are coming up with a more stronger design. But the flip side is someone may question that and say that why can't the limitations of both the processes multiply and come up with more biased estimates? So why do you always say that they compensate for one another, and why not that they amplify each other's weaknesses? That's also a school of criticism, a school of thought for criticism, and researchers must be cognizant of it. The fourth is mixed methods research is an evolving field. That means the standardization processes are not yet in place. So widely accepted formats of reporting, of integrating the results, those things are still in evolution. And in the absence of those kind of formats, for example, if you look at the reporting guidelines for observational study, the STROBE guidelines, the reporting guidelines for systematic reviews, PRISMA guidelines, similar standard accepted checklists and guidelines are not yet available fully for mixed methods research. Of course, there are some guidelines. There is the mixed methods appraisal toolkit from McGill, and those kind of guidelines are there, still not very widely accepted. Those are certain criticism. But one of the most important criticisms that researchers must take into consideration is that mixed methods research is resource intensive. One needs to have that kind of a grip on both quant and qual methods. Of course, one could be stronger than the other. And if not equally strong, at least somewhat very well evolved in one of the methods, while fairly manageable in the other one. And at the same time, the capacity to collaborate effectively. So a qual research team must be able to collaborate with a quant research team if the teams do not have these capacities inherently. Collaboration will help in combining the skill sets, but at the same time, quant people are more like positivist in their approach, and qual people are more like constructivist or interpretative in their approaches. So how do these two paradigms again come in? That brings us back to the number one criticism that we have. Having both the methods deployed, the study becomes more nuanced, but at the same time very complex. And this kind of complexity demands more resource allocation. So those were some of the criticisms. I hope this gives us new dimensions to look at this new evolving or relatively new approach to designing research studies. Thank you.